We left St. Ignace, Michigan there and our campground at Tiki RV Park and headed south and out across the Mighty Mac one more time and enjoy the views. On our way south toward Shipsehewana, Indiana, we decided to divert a little bit, and we went by a little town called Mercado and then Oscoda, Michigan, where Vicki lived from 1978 to 1984, and she has sweet memories from that area. So we decided to divert and heading down this little road, and we're coming up on Calvary Baptist Church, where Vicki worshiped for those 6 years while she was there. And she has some awful sweet memories from those days. So we drove by the church and then continued on our way south to Oscoda. And here very shortly you'll see us in the outskirts of Oscoda, making a left turn here on this highway. And right after we made the left turn, there was a whole flock of wild turkeys crossing the road. As we turned down the street that Vicki once lived on, it started to get pretty emotional for her, and it brought back a flood of memories, sweet memories, that they had here on this little street. And they lived in one of these, I'd call it a townhome. The garage is here on the end of the building, and as we drive by their old house, it was a sweet time for her. The reason that the family lived there then is her then husband was career Air Force, and we thank him for his service. And here we're going by what was Oscoda Air Force Base, and it is now pretty much abandoned except for this one company working out of there. We then continued heading south, but through the town of Oscoda. And at one point in time when Vicki lived here, there was one blinking light in town, and it has grown up quite a bit since then. And after our trip through Oscoda, we continued on south and arrived at Shipsehewana later that afternoon. Enjoy the view. The reason for our stop at Shipsehewana, Indiana was to visit Wana RV, because we had a few issues that cropped up on our 12,000-mile trip to Alaska and back. Anybody who's ever owned an RV know that it's like a rolling earthquake when you're going down the highway. We absolutely love our 2205S Mini Light by Rockwood, but it did develop a few issues on that 12,000-mile trip across very rough highways. And here's a list of them. The TV went bad right away. It was gladly replaced under warranty. We wanted them to check the slide seals, repair the top drawer under the sink. Also, the floor of the cabinet above the sink had sunk, and the roof vent would not stay shut, and the window on the slide would not operate properly. I had emailed this list to the service manager there at Wana RV, and we dropped it off at 9 o'clock that Monday morning, and they sent a tech out right away and went over this list. And we went from there to the RV Hall of Fame Museum in Elkhart, Indiana, and enjoyed our visit there very, very much. The first camper we saw was right in the lobby, and it's a 1946 Kit teardrop trailer, and it has a rear outdoor kitchen, and by today's standards even, it's pretty modern and up to date, except for the appliances that are here in the kitchen. After that was this 1880s John Deere Conestoga wagon that was found by a man named Bill Thomas. He found it in his uncle's barn, and it was in pieces, and he completely restored it and gave it to put it here in the museum for all of us to enjoy. The first camper we came to in the main part of the museum was called On Cabin Time, and it was originally yellow, and then it was repainted in a log cabin style, and it looks pretty good. But numerous times during this video you'll see us enter the camper, even though there's a chain across it keeping people from walking in it, and that's the extension on my GoPro selfie stick that enables us to go inside. And then we come across an old Ford, and I'm not sure what model or what year. So if you know what it is, let me know in the comments below, but it's very beautifully restored and good to look at. The next trailer we came to was a 1913 Earl travel trailer being pulled by a restored Model T Ford. This trailer, I'm not quite sure what model it is. I didn't get a picture of the name tag, so at this point I don't remember, but it is equipped pretty nicely, as you can see. Then came upon what is the oldest example of a pickup truck camper that we could find there, and it is called a telescoping apartment, and it's on a 1915 Model T. Made in San Francisco, and it sold for about $100, but it is beautiful. Enjoy. And this is a 1928 Pierce Arrow Fleet house car. This looked like luxury to me. Then right across the aisle was a 1929 Weidman house car. Enjoy. Then we come across a 1955 Spartan mobile home, and this would have been parked one spot and live in it. And so you can take a look at what a mobile home looked like in 1955, complete with full-size sink residential, of course, refrigerator, oven. Pretty well equipped, although not that big, not as wide as even the modern fifth wheel. The reason we knew about the RV Hall of Fame was because of a YouTube channel I've followed since we first got interested in RVing called Keep Your Daydream, KYD, and they bought this 1984 Bluebird Wonder Lodge RV in 2021 and drove it across the United States from South Carolina, where they purchased it, had some modifications done, and ended up in Chicago and drove the entire route of Route 66. And I encourage you to go to their channel and look for it on the playlist, and you can follow along as they drove from Chicago to California. When Mark and Trish had concluded that trip, and at some time later, they decided that they were going to take it to the RV Hall of Fame there in Elkhart, Indiana, and store it there. And I'm not sure if the museum owns it or if Mark and Trish still own it, but that doesn't matter. It's there for all of us to enjoy. So I would encourage you to go there and check it out. One of the things that Mark and Trish had done to the Bird was had this solar system installed with solar on the roof, and I think that's a 3,000 watt inverter in that unit. As we concluded our visit there at the RV Hall of Fame, I got a call from Wana RV saying, "Hey, the mini light is finished. Come on, pick it up." It only took them a little over 2.5 hours to complete the work on it, and we were excited. We drove back, and as we pulled in, I'm sorry I didn't take any pictures, but not only had they repaired everything that I asked them to, they also washed the unit, and it was very filthy after its trip to Alaska and back. So we were very pleased with Wana's RV service. That evening we took a walk around the campground there at Shipsehewana. It's known as Shipsehewana South RV Campground, and it's a very scenic campground. Part of it is out against the farmland there in Indiana, northern Indiana, and it is very scenic. And we had a nice pleasant walk, and this was going to conclude. The next morning we were going to leave and drive back to our home in south central Pennsylvania and draw a close to our 12,000 mile trip. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up. Appreciate it if you hit the subscribe, and we'll talk to you on the next one.